think Ken is with us right now, but hopefully he will be. This is Ken Archibald's story. Ken Archibald didn't join the armed forces as a pilot. He joined it as a radio operator and was soon training rookie signalers in Trenton. Ken said, "But what I really wanted to do was get up in the air." Growing up, Ken had taken flying lessons, and at the age of 22, he had become a flying officer. Based in Canada, he covered many long flights across the Atlantic, transporting goods, including confidential documents, mail for the troops, and armament. The planes were going non-stop, recalls Ken. There was little time between shifts, and often the weather conditions made the flights extremely dangerous, but it was always an adventure. The cargo planes were valued targets of the Germans, looking to stop the flow of information and classified documents. And Ken sadly recalls what a frequent occurrence it was to land and hear that another friend had gone missing overnight. Sometimes, while crossing the Atlantic, they could see the distress of Allied warships being attacked. Ken said, "You felt so helpless. You could see the bombing happening below you and you couldn't do anything. All we could do was radio for help." On one crossing over the English Channel, near the Dunkirk, Ken's crew sustained an attack that left over 100 holes riddled across their C-47. Then Ken adds, "Peace comes, and we all move on. We don't forget, we just move on." Ken Archibald. So that was good timing. Our next hero that we are going to be honoring is Bill Royds. Bill, as an ordinary seaman of the frigate HMCS St. John, Bill Royds fondly recalls his opportunity to travel around the world as a young man of only 19 years. He said, "It was an incredible opportunity for a boy from Northern Ontario," he adds, "and an exciting experience as well. Frigates were escort vehicles, as well as being equipped for anti-submarine warfare, and the St. John was heralded for the sinking of 2 German U-boats in the English Channel near the coast of Scotland. Both the U-247 and the U-309 each contained over 100 Germans, and Bill can remember the exhilaration of the sailors when the hits were confirmed. They were trying to kill us. It was our job to do the same. We sure celebrated," said Bill. He also recalls the discipline of the Navy as tough and life on the ship as difficult at times. He said, "But we were young and proud to serve. We weren't there for the conditions. We were there for the cause." Would you please thank Bill Royds? And our third hero that we will be honoring this afternoon is Fred Stringfellow.
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 Yes.
Fred was 17 years old when he enlisted. Everything was scarce back home, especially jobs and money. With 7 children in the family, 6 enlisted. He said, "We talk about how tough we had it, but it was the mothers who had it the toughest. They worried about us every hour of the day." Fred served with the 8th Ricky, a reconnaissance regiment responsible for determining the location and the capabilities of the different enemy units. This involved close-range approaches to the Germans, and surprises were frequent. It often meant hiding in close range until reinforcements arrived. Fred said, "I learned early that if you heard the gun, you were good. If you didn't, you were gone." Landing in Normandy a few weeks after D-Day, Fred drove a waterproof truck off the landing barge at Juno Beach as they fought their way into occupied France. Every day was a close call, Fred adds, but hearing what Hitler was doing made us fight a little harder. We wanted to fight for those who would never make it back home. 8th Ricky was involved in heavy action right until the end of the war, which happened to coincide on Fred's birthday. A wonderful gift, he recalls. Arriving back home, Fred would go on to meet Jessie, who we just heard from, and she had just lost her husband in the war, and they had been married for 62 years.
Yeehaw!
Would you honor Fred?